saw the Money Corner last Friday, you know that our subject then, as tonight and next week, was financial planning, and will be financial planning. My guests are a couple, Dennis La Padula and his wife Lois from Norwood, New Jersey. I want to get Norwalk in there for some reason. And Fred Kerpen, who is president of his own financial planning firm. Fred is with us from Manhattan. Fred has got a distinguished 30-year history of teaching securities and financial planning in schools such as City College and NYU. Dennis is a CPA, and his wife is a certified financial planner. I keep thinking of chartered security analyst. In talking last week about financial planning and the need for financial planning, the thought occurred to me, financial planning essentially is a process. Now, Dennis, before the program, you gave me an outline of the kind of planning guide that you work through. You've got a 13-page guide or interviewing outline that you work through with clients. Fred, do you establish, and is your initial approach to people an interviewing process?
Yes. As a matter of fact, my way of doing it is this. I say to a prospect, I will sit down with you half an hour, whatever it takes. I will take down the data, discuss them with you. There's no cost or obligation involved in that. And on the basis of that, we go further, if you want to. If you don't, that's it. I have a 2-page questionnaire, which is a condensed form of a similar questionnaire, and it has all the essential points in there. With those on hand, I can proceed to make a financial plan, make suggestions.
Now, Lois, this interviewing process, you're very comfortable with that because, as you told me before we went on the air, prior to becoming a financial planner, you were essentially a counselor.
Right.
So
I've been working with people in a counseling setting of one type or another for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we work together, Dennis and I, as a couple, with couples, which we find is very comfortable. People come in, husband and wife generally, and the first meeting, which again is there's no fee for, we discuss what their problems are, how they feel they can use a financial planner, how we feel we can help them. In that first hour of counseling, talking, we can pretty much lay out exactly what we can do for them. That is when we then use the 13-page questionnaire. We then send that home with them as homework. What we have found is it is a real education tool for most of the people that fill it out, because for the first time they personally have to sit down by themselves and pull out all of their papers from their safety deposit boxes, find every insurance policy that is hidden in every corner of the house, pull out their will, and gather everything together.
Now, if you look at, and many people say we're no longer a smokestack industry, we're now a service industry. The public is becoming sophisticated, increasingly sophisticated in working with professional people. We know we go to a lawyer and he has a fee, which usually is an hourly fee. Stockbroker, thank God, charges commissions, which keeps me alive. A physician has a fee based on the service delivered. The planner, there doesn't seem to be a uniform policy. Some planners have fees, some planners do not have fees. Am I misinformed or am I accurate?
No,
That's absolutely
accurate,
correct.
yes.
There are basically 3 ways that financial planners make a living. There's the fee-based, which we are.
You offer a plan for a price.
We offer a plan, and people pay us on an hourly basis. At that first meeting, we figure out how long it will take us to complete a financial plan with the sit-downs with the people at the beginning and at the end, and the number of hours it will take to work up the full plan. Then there is the commission-based, those that do not charge a fee at all,
but
just sell products similar to brokers.
And that subsidizes the plan.
Right, and then there's the combination. And I think, particularly in this area, the combination is most prevalent.
Yeah, that's what I do. I have clients that are on a fee basis, and I have clients that make their purchases, whichever necessary, through my brokerage firm, which is 25 years old.
Now, you have clients who will pay you a fee year after year, a planning fee
Yes.
year after year?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Why are they motivated to do that? What do they feel they're getting out of it?
Well, things change, products change, services change. It's amazing. I always say, to just illustrate the change, in the 50s and 60s, everybody bought mutual funds, and almost everybody sold them. Then they became a dirty word when the market crashed, and they've then slowly come back again. But then the municipals, the tax-free bonds, became popular, and they still are. Previously, municipal bonds were only bought by large trust companies, by banks, by insurance companies. They are now virtually in every portfolio. And now in the 80s, the annuity has become fashionable, and some 20 billion of them have been sold. So it is the task of the financial planner to distribute the assets and distribute the investments and the risk coverage prudently, so that not one of the specialties, like a lawyer or an insurance man, has the prevailing say in a situation and does things mostly fashioned to his own specialty.
You know, Dennis, if you were to ask me if anyone were the logical person to do the financial planning, in my view, it would be the CPA, the accountant.
That's true, Phil, in that the background is totally financially oriented. But there is still an educational process that even a CPA has to go through to become a qualified financial planner. Well, let me illustrate it this way. Very simply, when I'm asked what financial planning is, I say that it's very similar to the concept of my wanting to drive from New Jersey to California. And given the amount of time that my trip may take, I know what sites I would like to see, what stop-offs I would like to make. And the best way for me to accomplish this is possibly to go to AAA and have a triptych made out. And AAA will outline the roadmap, the game plan. Now, what that will help me to do is to shortcut any wrong turns and lost time. That's what financial planning is. If you will, New Jersey is today and California is the end of my life. In between all that, I've got certain things to contend with. I've got inflation, I've got taxes, I've got changing circumstances in my finances. And one of the things that we all work with in this process called financial planning to make it more realistic and more relevant is inflation. Most people don't think of it. We use the word. But just to illustrate it this way, if I had $100,000 10 years ago, the average rate of inflation over the last 10 years is 8%. That $100,000 will buy today approximately $46,000 worth of goods and services. If I had $25,000 in income 10 years ago, that will buy me approximately $14,600 worth of goods and services today. If I say 10 years from now I would like an income of $30,000, coupled with my Social Security, my pension plan if I have one, and whatever investment I can get off of my liquid assets at that point, just at a 6% average inflation rate, I will need over $53,000 in 10 years.
Fred, we have 45 seconds.
It's a very good point. There's a difference between so-called fixed dollars and flexible dollars, and most people are not aware of it. It is one of the tasks of the financial planner to make people aware of it, that even though they have money in a government bond, it does deteriorate over time.
Absolutely.
Okay, and you know, unfortunately on television, we don't have flexible time. We only have fixed time. We are out of time. We'll be back with you again here on the Money Corner next week. We'll conclude our series on financial planning. Have a good week. Come back and be with us next week and learn a little more about financial planning. Good night.